All right, how everybody doing today?
Good.
Okay. Today I come to talk to you about the definition of a Moor. Do anybody know what a Moor is?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's what we're here today for. Now, my purpose of this information is to inform the copper-colored inhabitants of America of the luxurious Moorish history. I come to prove that you are Moor. Who don't believe they're Moor? Okay, you got one. That's your opinion. Okay. I come to prove that you're Moor today, though. Fact one, most copper-colored Americans did not come from a slave boat. We were already here. Now, I know you might be like, well, why they don't say none of this in the history books or at school? That's a good question. Nevertheless, today, we gonna get down to the nitty-gritty of it today. Now, before we go further, I'm going to define Moor to y'all. Moor is a term used all over the world to define the great inhabitants of the Moor. The Moor is a Muslim from Mu, which is the ancient word for Moors that the Moors gave to earth. It was called Mu first. Moors inhabited all over the world and were royal and olive, dark, or brown skin color in America. If you look at yourself, I don't need to explain no more about that. It is a fact that the Moors inhabited the land we call America before it was conquered. Before Columbus came, the African presence in ancient America by Dr. Van Sertima, published in January 1st, 1991, states that Muslims were here in 1178 that predates Columbus' finding of America in 1492, because I know you know that's in the history books in 1492, but we were here predating 1492 since 1178. That's just what they got documented, but it was way before that. Next, let's talk about the letters of the Constitution. If you look up those letters, read carefully, you will come to the statement George Washington made admittingly that he was to chop down our forefathers' cherry tree. What do you mean by the cherry tree? That's the Moorish flag. If you go back and do some dialect and research about the Constitution and the letters to the Constitution, you will see the things that George Washington explained on now about the Moorish flag and the chopping of the cherry tree. Now, I know by now you wondering well, still, who are the Moors? Still, who are the Moors? Now let's examine the Moorish Empire and how it got betrayed. In 1786, we made a treaty in America with Columbus and the European settlers that came here. The treaty was stating that we would be friends with them. We probably should have never did it, but we stated that we'll be friends with them. Now, the Constitution is under the Moorish Empire. That's what a lot of people don't know. The Constitution is under the Moorish Empire. So, the Moors gave the Constitution to George Washington and the inhabitants of America, but they betrayed us. And I know you probably wondering again, well then, okay, so how did copper-colored Americans get amnesia? How did they forget about this? Well, that comes from gentrification and a long line of mixing chromosomes. This is how we forgot in America who we were. And they did it good. They did it to the T. But that's how we forgot. Okay, by now you're wondering, how can we reclaim our royalty? How can we make the government admit to us being the true copper-colored Americans? Well, Barack Obama already did that for us. But see, a lot of so-called blacks in America don't know about the Declaration of Indigenous People because we feel that we ain't indigenous to this land. Indigenous just simply mean the mother and father of this land, our ancestors were. That's what indigenous means. And a lot of people don't know that. So they feel like they're not indigenous to this land. But we are. We are the indigenous people to this land. And we deserve all the rights and royalty back that this land has to offer. And the Declaration of Indigenous People is 46 articles which Barack Obama has signed off and dated. And these articles consist of telling you that you need to go back to your forefathers' creed and your foremothers' creed. This is the only way you'll get salvation in America. I know y'all see it. You see blacks getting shot down in the street and da-da-da. That's because they don't have a nation, a nationality. Now, another way is the Moorish Science Temple of America. That is an organization set up by Noble Drew Ali in 1913. He's an Egyptian adept. It was found for the sole purpose of bringing blacks, so-called blacks in America, back to their Moorish creed. Now, in conclusion, I hope today I was able to inform you of your Moorish ancestors. As you go on to do your own research, I hope you come to realization that we are the Moors. I want us to fully understand the rise and fall of the Moors and the betrayal that lies within the content. The final result we must understand is the uniting in ways we can come back to our national creed. If there was any question about the Moors of the past or present, I